talks a lot about she played goalie. And there's a first shot and it's in.
Hey, a big congratulations to the Sea Lacrosse team opening up Pac-12 conference play, getting victories over Stanford and a lopsided win over Cal. Back here at the CU Event Center, the Buffalo Stampede NIT. Buffaloes get knocked out in the second round, losing to Utah Valley University. My broadcast partner, Buffs great Scott Wilke, joining us here for a couple of minutes. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Before we kind of get to this talking about this UVU game, Scott, the stretch run of the season, all the injuries were happening. I mean, KJ Simpson goes down with mono. Hadley had been out. Others had been out. They were getting a little thin on the bench. I thought this team showed phenomenal character down the stretch run of the season.
Yeah, some guys who were playing secondary roles stepped into more prominent roles and did well in that role. And we won 3 out of our last 6 against good teams. Yeah. So not a bad finish.
No, certainly not. They played hard, and we learned things about Luke O'Brien. Down the last 12 games was outstanding. He almost averaged about 9.5 points, roughly about 8 rebounds or so. Julian Hammond, I think we learned a lot about. When KJ went down with mono, he had to play a lot of minutes. He grew up as a player.
Julian's a gamer. You know, we talked about him being a good football player, state champions twice in his high school career, and guy doesn't shy away from the moment, and he really showed that the last few ball games.
Yeah, Buffs had a good showing out in Las Vegas, beating Washington, and took the top seed, by the way, and a team that's probably a Final Four contender, UCLA, down the stretch. The end of the NIT. Talk about that opening game against Seton Hall. I thought Seton Hall was a very good basketball team, a veteran team, and that was really kind of a gut check win. They win it by 1.
Yeah, you know, age matters in college basketball, and they had multiple guys that were in their 4th or 5th year, and they came in here and played well. Colorado hung on in a tough win late in the ball game. Really had some guys make plays late in that game that hadn't been in that situation before, and they came out ahead of it.
Buffaloes then run into UVU. This is a team, a lot of team people had never heard of UVU. I had to look up exactly where they were from. I didn't know much about them. Mark Manson's team was a shot-making machine in this game.
They put on a show here offensively. Yeah. Woodbury is a guy I could see playing in Europe for a long time. He knows how to score the ball. He got it going tonight, and he was talking some trash out here, but he was impressive.
Buffaloes get knocked out of the second round of the NIT, and afterward we heard from head coach Tad Boyle.
Yeah, disappointing. Obviously, we wanted to advance. We didn't. You're playing at home. You feel like, the crowd was great. I mean, they showed up and really appreciate their support all year long. Utah Valley's a good team. We knew that coming in. They proved it tonight. To me, that's an NCAA tournament caliber team that we just played. They won their league. It's their 27th win tonight. They're 12th away from home. So, I mean, they're good. Their guards are, holy cow, are they good. That's a hell of a team we just lost to. There's no doubt about it. Now, we thought we just could never string together stops. The teams that advance this time of the year, the teams that guard. That's the bottom line. I don't care if you're in the NIT or the NCAA tournament. I watched Michigan State, against SC. I watched them today. I mean, they are guarding at such a high level. It's like, holy cow. And then I look at our team, and it's like, we're not there. We're a long ways away from that. So we got a lot of work to do.
That's head coach Tad Boyle after the Buffaloes fall in the second round of the NIT to Utah Valley University. We continue with my broadcast partner, Scott Wilke. Let's talk about this thing moving forward. Now, we saw Lawson Lovering, by the way, in this game against the Wolverines, career high 21 points, 7 rebounds. Talk about the growth you saw from him down the stretch.
Well, it wasn't just tonight. He's been playing better as the season wound down. He's getting good at a jump hook. He's playing more aggressively. And tonight he kind of put it all together, and the confidence really grew in him tonight. Interesting what's going to happen with him next year.
One thing that happens for every athlete, I played, you played, you know what happens? At some point, all of a sudden, the flip or the switch flips, and you're not so sped up, and everything's not so fast in the court. I kind of wonder if that did happen to him maybe the last half dozen games.
Yeah, and he's making free throws, which he wasn't doing all year, and making shots and just feeling better about himself. And he's so big and so athletic for a guy that size. He's got a lot of potential.
When it does slow down, it allows you to think a little bit about the game, doesn't it? And make the kind of moves we're seeing on the block.
Yeah, and he's got to develop. You've mentioned many times this year he's got to get a go-to move. Starting to see that jump hook from him more and more often. I really like what we're going to see from him next year.
Okay, so he's going to be a year older, and I think Jalen Gavadon said a previous segment, this was really his freshman campaign. With Tristan coming back, with KJ coming back, Luke O'Brien coming back, going on with what's coming in, what do you like about Colorado in 23-24?
There's plenty of talent there, Mark. The cupboard is plenty full, especially with the guys we got coming in, and you just got to put it together. Coach mentioned how they were inconsistent this year. That's got to be something that improves next year, is playing more consistently on both ends of the floor.
With the inconsistency on this team, and Tad told us on our radio broadcast, we wrapped things up after this game with UVU, he said he was going to have regrets about this season. with the inconsistency, I understand the frustration. I thought that staff did a pretty darn good coaching job with this team, though, the way it was up and down all season long.
Yeah, the bench got pretty short here late in the season with the injuries that Colorado had, and playing in a Power 5 conference to come out with a winning record is still impressive to me.
Yep, Buffaloes with 18 wins, 81-69 the final, though, as they lose to Utah Valley in the second round of the NIT. That's my broadcast partner, Scott Wilke, voice of the Buffs, as we put a wrap on the college basketball season for Colorado. Coming up next, we're talking football. Spring ball is underway for head coach Coach Prime Sanders.